Hello and welcome to Middlesex Moments, the radio show from Middlesex Community College. I'm Steve Minkler, the Academic Dean and Campus Administrator at the college, and your host for these programs. As always, we come to you from the radio studios of the Center for New Media at Middlesex Community College's main campus located at 100 Training Hill Road here in the city of Middletown. And I'm excited because my guest today is a student at the college, Tyler Ekstrom. Hi, Tyler. How are you?
Good, Dean Minkler. How about you?
I'm well, thanks. And Tyler, you tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? Where did you go to high school? And what brought you to Middlesex?
Well, I was born and raised in Middletown. I have lived here my entire life. Actually, the house I'm living in now, believe it or not, I've been there my entire life, and so never really experienced living somewhere else. And so I went to St. John's School in Middletown from kindergarten to 8th. We were a very small class, graduated with only 14, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was a small group, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But we were tight-knit, you know. And then I went to Xavier High School from freshman year to senior year, all 4 years. So that was 2012 to 2016. I graduated in June of 2016. And, after that, I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do. It took some thinking. And I think, my mom had went here, and she got an associate's in 2015 because that was going to be her new career path. She got it in, finance.
Okay.
And so I said, this is the great place to go to, find out exactly what I want to do, because this school is full of so many different opportunities. And so I came here in the fall of 2016. When I took the entrance exam, they told me, you qualify for the honors program. And I happily said yes. And that was honestly one of the best decisions I ever made. I made so many close friends there. It's such an awesome group. And the instructors are fabulous.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that. And, I know I helped a little bit with your class as you were coming in, and just to see, the like you said, the camaraderie that comes about because you're in classes together, you're taking English together and history and these honor seminars, and you are a full-time student at the college, right?
Yeah, taking 6 classes, believe it or not.
Well,
yeah,
that's pretty heavy load.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I like being busy. I like staying busy.
Okay.
It's fun to stay busy. You get bored if you're taking one or two.
Well, and besides taking classes, you also do other things at the college as well.
Oh, yeah. I'm a member of the car club here.
Okay.
And so the car club is like the coolest club, ever, in my opinion. I mean, we have great moderators. Professor Quinlan is our moderator, and we just meet up and talk about cars, and we're all car guys, and our tastes are very diverse, which makes it interesting, because some of us like olders, like myself, we like older cars, and some of the guys my age like newer cars, and it's cool to have that mix, because it just makes it more interesting to see different perspectives, as if it was just a perspective that I've always seen,
Yeah.
To get to see something else, a new taste.
Yeah, and I got to imagine that not too many colleges have a car club on campus.
No, that's very true. That I don't know of any other ones. Like I know I was trying to transfer to Central possibly next year, because I'm towards the end of my 2 years, and they don't have a car club. I created a car club at Xavier when I was there, and the car club's still going. But it's hard to grow things like that. It's not really the interest like it was, say, 50 years ago.
Right. Well, and it must be hard, too, here at a college like Middlesex, because we're a commuter college. So on the one hand, it's easier to have a car club, but you don't live on campus, because nobody lives on campus.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, so it's like, can people make it to meetings? People have jobs and, classes, and it's hard to get everybody together. But, I mean, when we are all together, it's a blast.
Okay.
It really is.
So, Tyler, we do have to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll talk with you more about your experience as a student here at Middlesex Community College and maybe what the future holds in store for you. You're listening to Middlesex Moments. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Middlesex Moments, coming to you from Middlesex Community College. This is Steve Minkler, and I'm here together with Tyler Ekstrom. And Tyler, you're a student at the college here. Before the break, we were talking about you coming in as an honors student from Xavier High School.
Yeah.
And tell us a little more about the honors program. Part of it is taking classes together, but you also are supposed to be working on some sort of a research project.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, basically the first year, I mean, you're just kind of getting into the honors program, getting the gist of it. And so your first semester, you only take like a handful of classes together. You take English and honors seminar together. The second semester, you take, actually you're with the honors program every day, which is awesome. Cause you take English and history. And you know, it's great because you get to see your friends, you know, and you guys seeing each other every day you grow really closer. So, I mean, as you get into the second year, I mean, you know, then they start preparing you for graduation and transfer. And so you work on this big project called the Capstone Project. And so basically you just pick a topic you want, any topic at all that interests you or that is related to your career choice. And you have to work at it. You write an essay, and then come the academic convivium in the spring, you actually have to present in front of a panel of people.
Okay.
Which that was very exciting, yeah.
And what's the nature of your project? What's the kind of what's your career interest, and what are you going to be presenting about?
Well, I think I've decided to go the business field as far as careers go, but I decided to do more on my hobby because I figured it would be an interesting thing. So, I mean, as we were talking before, I love old cars. So I decided to do American automobile culture from 1900 to 1979, stopping right in 79 or 80 because, I mean, according to classic car guys, after that, there's not really much interest in the 80s. But
that spans a long period of time. But I think I got to imagine you're finding all sorts of stuff about American car culture and what it means, you know, to own a car and have the freedom that's associated with that.
Oh, it's just fascinating because, I mean, America was a nation born on wheels, you know. The country wouldn't be what it is today if it weren't for, you know, the automobile culture of the 20th century. Yeah. And it, you know, I wrote a 12-page essay on it, and I would say 10 out of the 12 pages were stuff that I had already known. Stuff because I like to read up on it, and it's just an interesting topic, you know.
Okay, and what kind of car do you have?
I own a 1978 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. It's, I'd say, about 90% original.
Okay.
It got into a little fender bender, crunched up the trunk lid about, you know, a couple months ago, but it got fixed and it's all back to normal. Decided to take it out for a little joyride yesterday, actually. It was great.
Now, is that a car you bought on your own, or was this a family car?
I bought it all on my own.
Awesome.
Which I saved up throughout the summer after I graduated high school, working at Ace Hardware. And, you know, I had wanted to buy my own classic car. And, you know, I wasn't about to take, like, a charity from somebody else. So I said, yeah. And I found the car, and I bought it off the original owner. And I got a great deal on it. And then I didn't do much to it because the car is beautiful as it was, but I sort of made it mine.
Okay.
Put a dual exhaust on it, make it a little louder, make it rumble. And, of course, it needs a little bit of maintenance work, but that's to be expected.
Sure. Now, do you take the car out to shows?
Oh, all the time. Funny enough, last year alone, the first summer I had it, I took it to 26 shows. This Middlesex Car Club show included.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, that keeps you pretty busy, but you must meet all sorts of people with different cars, different age cars, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah. The oldest car I rode in, I went to a car show last May, and I rode in a 1912 Willys Overland, which is like a predecessor to the Jeep, but it looked nothing like a Jeep. You know, it looked like your average car from, you know, the early days. So I mean, it was the same year the Titanic sank, 1912.
That's true. Yeah.
And then right on the heels of that, I rode in a 1913 Cadillac with original interior. Can you believe that?
Really?
Yeah, it held up. It was great.
Well, 100-year-old interior of a car, man.
It was incredible. I mean, it was so low tech, but it was just fancy and ornate, and you know, it made me like feel at home almost, like you're sitting on your couch.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
awesome.
incredible.
So how many students are in the car club here at Middlesex Community College?
I mean, there's a lot of people that have signed up and are on our email list. I would say people that are like officially in, maybe in the realm of 20, but people that are actually able to show up for the meetings, students-wise, maybe 3 or 4 regularly. And then we have a couple faculty and staff members that attend as well.
Okay. What kind of things does the club do? Do you just get together and talk about cars or show them off, or do you do other things for the community?
Well, basically, we're always looking to better the community with our club. And so, I mean, you know, during the wintertime, there's not really much you can do as far as car hobbies go. So, I mean, we bring in stuff like last week I brought in some pamphlets, like old car ads. And I mean, the week before that, I brought in some model cars that I had made myself from the kits. And, everybody got a kick out of them. And it's really nice. But, once the springtime rolls around and the weather gets nicer, people start taking their cars out. And at that point, we like to have a car show. And we did it last year with the Spring Fest. And, we try to collect donations, and we usually just try to pick a charity, that it can go to. Because, we don't really need any money for the funding for our club ourselves. Because, we're all happy to be in it. Right. And we're just looking to have a good time and make friends and just have a blast.
That's good. And that's what college is all about, too, right?
Absolutely.
So, I'm talking to Tyler Ekstrom, who's a student at Middlesex Community College. We talked about him being in our honors program and a member of our car club. But I also see you at work here at the college. Tell our listeners what you do as a student employee of the college.
Well, first of all, being a student employee is like an amazing experience. And you meet a lot of people and, students and staff. And basically, I work at the CICC desk. So I'm like the front desk guy. Whenever you come in looking for the right office to go to, I direct you. And then when you're all enrolled and you have your schedule, and you bring it over to me, and I'll print up your ID for you, take your picture, and, you give it to you so that you're all set to go.
Okay. And have you ever heard like a really silly question, somebody coming in looking for some information that just didn't make any sense to you?
Well, I don't think I've had anything really interesting happen. Although there was this one time when a person came in and they were looking for the bursar's office, and I had never even heard that term before. And I was like, well, I don't exactly know what that means. And they're like, you don't know what the bursar's office means, but you work at this desk. And I said, well, I mean, maybe I can just look it up on the computer. And that computer is my best friend. But apparently it's what, business office? Because I already forgot.
Right, yeah,
but
that's what it is, yeah.
Yeah, so I just match up the B's.
Well, I guess some colleges would call it the cashiers. That's where you go to pay. That's the most important thing, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So what are some other ways you've been involved on campus? You're a student employee, you're in this honors program, and a student leader of sorts.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of good friends here that, we're always trying to look out for other people. And if, somebody needs a hand with, say, a homework question, or, they're having trouble with this, like, we always just try to be there. It's what a community is all about. You need to treat everybody like their family almost. And I mean, I'm certainly known around this campus, I guess you could say. And I'm known for my corny jokes too. Love to make really bad jokes, but they're funny.
Well, it keeps us all on our toes, right?
Oh, of course. You never know what's going to come next.
Now, you were telling me off air that you're also interested or involved in the Coast Guard?
Yes. I serve part-time in the Coast Guard Auxiliary.
Okay.
And that was another incredible decision I made. That I'm a volunteer, so I don't get paid. But, I mean, I'm still serving, in the Coast Guard. We're all Team Coast Guard, same team, same mission, and that's to protect the country and protect our fellow citizens.
Okay. And what kind of time commitment is there for being a Coast Guard volunteer?
Well, we have drill every month, once a month. Actually, our next drill is tomorrow night, believe it or not. And so we would go, obviously, and then I'm in the Guilford Flotilla. And so that lasts about maybe 3-4 hours. And then during the summertime, depending on what your duty station is, like me, I'm training to be a vessel examiner. So just doing vessel safety checks on civilian pleasure craft, like, speedboats, or I don't know, maybe an occasional yacht. But I just check them and give them the safety certificates, and then they're all good to go to get, like, re-registered. And
okay. And is that something that you could turn into a profession? Could you join the Coast Guard Academy from being a volunteer?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly, if you want to go full-time Coast Guard, it certainly helps. But, I think for me, I already feel that, like this is the right path for me right now. Like, I really like the people in my flotilla with me. They're great people. And, we wear the same uniform as full-time Coast Guard does. And so, you already feel like you're part of the team, and you're granted a security clearance onto different Coast Guard facilities for training or such and such, whatever you're doing. So, I mean, I think that where I am, I'm happy. And I think that, I don't need to be paid to necessarily, do what I have to do. I'm more than happy to, just commit and do this for free.
Right. Well, yeah, and it kind of, at least right now, it keeps you balanced between what you're doing at the college and, what you do at home and using this as a volunteer experience. It sounds pretty good.
Oh, yeah. It's a blast. It really is.
All right. Well, guess what? It's time for another break.
All right.
Tyler. So you're listening to Middlesex Moments from Middlesex Community College, and we'll have more after this quick break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Middlesex Moments, coming to you from Middlesex Community College in Middletown. This is Steve Minkler, your host, and I'm here with Tyler Ekstrom, who's a student at the college. And we've been talking about Tyler's experience as a student, as a volunteer in the Coast Guard, as a member of the car club on campus, and as a student employee. It sounds like you're a busy guy, Tyler.
Yeah, but busy's the way to be. You find that when you're busy, there's always something to look forward to next.
Right.
Whatever the next adventure is going to be.
And what are some of those adventures for you? What are some of the things that you're into outside of the college?
Well, I mean, aside from car shows and the Coast Guard, I love to draw in my spare time. I love to draw, cars mainly because you can do whatever you want, but like with the designs and such. But I also like to do dogs, cats, birds.
Interesting.
Birds are really fun because you can throw in different kind of exotic colors, like say with the parrot.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's all about having a blank canvas and taking a pen or a pencil and making whatever you want. It's limitless.
Sure.
And it's incredible.
Now, if you're sitting in class on campus, do you ever doodle in your notebook or something?
Oh, all the time. Actually, in Dr. Trier's history class, which I'm also a big fan of history, and I love to watch documentaries on the History Channel. But in Dr. Trier's history class, whenever he would talk about a topic, let's say, for instance, it was the American Revolutionary War, and it was, say, the French fleet coming to the aid of the Americans. I would draw a bunch of old sailing ships, and I'd put French flags on them.
Oh, cool.
And, yeah, I mean, and it's just for fun. It gets you in the history mood, I guess.
Sure.
And I'd always draw the maps, too. The
Yeah?
maps of the battlefields and stuff. It's fun.
Well, if it makes you remember the information better, then that's a good thing.
Oh, it's great. It's a great study tool for sure. If you need to know the name of somebody, you can put a little banner like Admiral D'Estaing's fleet, and it's really great. It's fun.
So having an artistic streak is interesting because when I was kind of preparing to talk to you today, I noticed that you're taking a pottery class this semester.
Oh yeah.
What's that like?
Oh, I've never done pottery like ever in my life before taking this class, and it's with Matthew Weber, who is a great guy, great professor. I mean, he really knows a lot about pottery, and he really inspires us to do our best and to let our artistic talent flow.
Mm-hmm.
And so we started off by making these Japanese tea bowls, and they're like an old design from like thousands of years ago. And it's really cool to be able to kind of live that 1,000-year-old tradition.
Yeah.
And, design the tea bowls any way you want. They're far from perfect, but that's kind of the whole idea of it. They're not going to be perfect, but
Sure.
it's unique. And that's what the whole idea is. And I mean, I think for definitely for beginners of pottery, it's a project you can have a lot of fun on, and you don't need to worry about it being, 100% like, sparkly,
Right. Yeah. No, I've never taken a class like that. So what kind of instruction does Matt Weber give you when you're sitting at, a pottery wheel? Does he tell you this is sort of what it's supposed to look like, or does he give you some of that historical background that is supposed to influence what you're doing?
Usually he'll start off the class with a PowerPoint on, say, the origins of the project we're working on, if it has historical value. I mean, not all of them have historical value. Some have more modern applications. But, for the Japanese tea bowls, he showed us a PowerPoint and told us, the whole idea, like of what I just told you, the idea of where the project's supposed to go, and then he'll do a demonstration. So we kind of know what we're doing, kind of follow his lead, and so he'll do a demonstration for us, and it really helps. That makes things clearer.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get right to work, and as we're working, we just work at our tables, chat with our friends, and then if we need help, he comes around and advises us.
Okay. Yeah, so it's a pretty casual type of way to learn and all that. But
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the best way, too.
Sure. So what's next for you? You're here at Middlesex in our honors program. You're in our general studies program, but are you looking to transfer to get your bachelor's degree? What's the next move for you?
Yeah, well, I am certainly planning on getting my bachelor's. The school for me right now is Central. I went on the campus of Central probably, I would say August, right before school started here, and I really liked the campus. I liked their facilities, and I thought, this is convenient for me too, because I'm going to be commuting anyway, and obviously I said I'm from Middletown, so like the 20-minute drive isn't bad. I mean, it's not going to be the 10-minute drive that Middlesex is for me, but I mean, 20 minutes, 10 minutes more, it really doesn't make much of a difference. But so I'm thinking the business path, because I'm taking a marketing class with Professor Lugli. And I mean, it just always interested me. My mother owned a consignment store when I was in high school. And before that, my father unfortunately passed in 2010, but when he was alive, he had a construction company of his own. So I came from a family of entrepreneurs, and also Daniel's Oil Company. My grandfather, back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, he was co-owner, and then he sold out and went on his own. So now it's my extended cousins running that. But I come from a family of entrepreneurs, and so that always, kind of interested me, being able to take a risk and, make your own path. So I'm going the business route. I've been considering coming back in the fall to take a couple prerequisite business classes, because this school is great for like people who are trying to save money, which for me, I mean, I certainly could use all the money I can get.
Sure.
And so I may come back here, but I'm going to be talking with advisors and, making sure that what I decide to do is, in the best interest of me and my financial situation. But yeah, definitely, I think Central is certainly my career path, and I have talked to a couple people from Central. I believe the honors program, I think it's next month. We're going to Central on a tour.
Yes,
and I'm looking forward to that, because I didn't see the whole campus. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I want to see what the future holds.
Sure. Yeah, and you're listening to Middlesex Moments. This is Steve Minkler together with Tyler Ekstrom, a student at Middlesex Community College. And I think, what I do hear from you, and I hear from many students, is that you get a great foundation here at Middlesex Community College, and the courses that you take here can transfer and be part of your bachelor's degree when you're ready for that.
Oh, always. That's so convenient that, you can come to this school with, I mean, many people downplay community colleges, but you don't really know their worth until you come to one. And you see what an amazing school it is. And it's a community. You meet so many different people. The classes are smaller. And it builds that foundation, gives you the confidence and preparation to go out into the real world and begin your life.
Okay. So where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years?
Well, I mean, I hope to have a full-time job, maybe in a business or marketing field. I mean, if say there were no jobs open in that field, I could always fall back on, say, an auto mechanic job, temporarily. I mean, because there's only so far you can go with that. But if there's one thing my father always taught me, is that you keep trying, and you're going to be successful at some point.
Sure.
You just have to keep climbing and working hard, and it's that drive and that passion to achieve what you want. And I would like one day to have a family and be married with a wife, and I guess have a nice house in the suburbs, and and a load of classic cars in the driveway.
Yeah, there you go. Well, so what might be within the next 5 to 10 years, if you were to buy another classic car for you to have to drive around and to show off, what might that car be?
Oh, well, that's a really good question. I would love to have a 57 Ford Skyliner convertible, the hardtop convertibles, but those are very pricey. But I would also love to have a 60s muscle car. And as you can see, obviously the people listening can't see it, but I'm wearing an Oldsmobile hat. And I'm a big Oldsmobile fan. And so I would love to have maybe a late 60s or early 70s Olds convertible, which would be sweet. But definitely a convertible, because I love the open air feeling. And, like on a nice summer night, just being able to cruise with the top down.
Sure. And it's too bad nowadays there aren't too many drive-in movie theaters anymore. That would be a totally classic thing to do in a car like that.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm planning on doing that actually with some of my friends in the honors program. We were talking about it, possibly going to the drive-in. I believe it's in Hartford. We're just going to take a ride up there in my Cutlass. I mean,
Right.
I know the 70s weren't exactly known for drive-ins, but it'd be cooler with a 50s car, but hey, close enough.
That's right. So one last question in the time we have left. If you were to go to Xavier High School, which is where you went to school, if you were to go back to Xavier and talk to some students who are getting ready to graduate, what advice would you give them about choosing a college?
Well, the first thing I would say is choose a college that you feel when you walk on campus, your first impression, you say, wow, this is a great environment. I can feel at home here. College, I mean, yes, it's great to have fun, but choose a place where, the academics are met with the fun and, you can meet great people and build friendships and have fun on, say, the weekends, but also focus on your academics and meet with teachers who are really passionate and they care about your success. So definitely do some looking into the schools you're going to choose. But if there's one thing for sure, I know that I made the right choice coming here. So if you don't exactly know what you're going to do, community colleges are a great route. And I mean, Middlesex is, in my opinion, one of the greater community colleges in Connecticut. And it's just a great community. And so keep all your options open. Don't go to college thinking, it's party time.
Mm-hmm. It's time to work, but time to have a little fun too, though. Yeah.
Because you can't just work your way through it. You got to have fun.
Yeah.
And I mean, like for instance, before coming on the radio here, I played a couple rounds of pool, and because Middlesex has the game room, which is great, and pool is an awesome game, and I love to play it.
Sure. Well, Tyler Ekstrom, thank you for being a student at Middlesex Community College, and thank you for being on the show today.
Hey, thank you very much for having me. It was a real pleasure and a lot of fun.
Okay. Well, and to our listening audience, if you want to visit any of the classes that Tyler was talking about, from pottery to history to engineering to many of the things that we offer here, we invite you to visit us at our main campus at 100 Training Hill Road in Middletown. We also have a Meriden Center located at Platt High School, where we offer late afternoon and early evening classes, Mondays through Thursdays, at the Platt High School Center. And, of course, you can visit us online 24/7 at mxcc.edu. So, for Middlesex Community College, I'm Steve Minkler, and we look forward to speaking with you again here on Middlesex Moments. Thanks for listening.